we shall chant some invocation prayers here. Let's see. Okay, I'll exit out of this. I'll give this to one of you. Oh, I've done it again.
You've done it again?
Yes. So, it was actually counterintuitive. So now, Madhav has to fix it. But we'll chant our invocation prayers. Speaker, no, it's not working.
Huh?
What's that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm a little frightened to touch this, so I want you guys to be able to read. All right, we're still good. Okay. So we're back. All right. So come closer. Everyone is so far. Especially you, Piyush. You need to be close. Avani, save that spot right there for Piyush.
Okay.
Yes. Mohi and Parth I can trust in the back. Rajneesh, right? Is that your name? Welcome. This is your first morning program? Yes, welcome. So we're studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. You've heard of Srimad Bhagavatam before?
Yeah.
These are all the pastimes of Krishna and his life and activities. And from them we can learn so much. So for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is like the topmost scripture that we have scriptural authority. It's also the final Purana. After Vyasadeva did all of his work in this world, compiling Mahabharata, all of the Vedas, he's organized everything. This was his final work given to the world. So here we are. We study this ancient wisdom text, and anyone who studies it, you'll just see the value of studying it. It'll, the taste is in the eating. You know something's good if it tastes good. So you'll know this is good by hearing this thing. So a little recap now. The whole Bhagavatam has, the scene was set. The Pandavas, they won the war with Krishna's blessing and help. And ultimately, they ruled the kingdom for some time, but now Krishna himself, he is winding up his pastimes on the planet. So when Krishna winds up his pastimes, no more need for the devotees to be here. Because what makes a devotee? They come to serve Krishna. So when Krishna leaves, then the devotees, it's time to go. That's why today's title is Time to Go. So similarly in our lives too, when we become devoted, any opportunity we can serve Krishna, this is a good place to be. Yes, we should be right here. But then, if there's no opportunity to serve Krishna in, say some circumstance, for me, like in my parents' home, it was not good facility for me to serve Krishna anymore. Time to go. Go to the next place. So now, the Pandavas are going to leave this world. That's their time to go. And at some point, it will be our time to leave this world. No more good facility for serving Krishna here. My body is old. My body has all kinds of disease. And it's the teeth are falling out. I'm hard of all my senses are not working properly of the body. Time to go. Is that on me, by the way?
Yeah, it's on.
It's on me, or it looks like it's over here? So yes, center. So like this. So we're going to see the Pandavas are going to retire timely in this chapter, but before they do, Arjuna, Yudhishthir just, he sees Arjuna come back dejected. Arjuna is a topmost warrior. He was the great hero of the Mahabharata, with the exception of Krishna, who's like, he's God, so it's not like, God is the ultimate hero, but from the position of God, it's not, it's not like, it's not like such heroic activity if God can just squish all kinds of, all of us, everyone. So Krishna, he arranged everything in such a way so that Arjuna could be the hero. Krishna is interested in the devotee becoming the hero. Similarly, in your life, you may say, like, well, why does Krishna need my service? Why is Madhav doing all these prayers and mantras and doing all these things? God has all the facility to take whatever he wants. Actually, it's for the devotee's benefit. Actually, it's not, Krishna doesn't need our service. God doesn't need our service. God wants our service. Why? Because the only thing that we can actually give God is not anything other than love. That's the only thing that we have that's valuable to God. The exchange of love is the only thing that God, you could say, is not the only thing that he could really get from us is the relationship of love. So similarly, we're all looking for love, right? Everyone is wanting to get, like Mohit is married. It's nice to have another married man in the house. This is very, for all intents and purposes, Parthy is practically married already. This girlfriends thing is not really a Vedic culture thing. So when you have a girlfriend, if there's some intimacy there, it's for all, this is marriage actually. Best to actually consecrate the marriage. This is a very good thing to do. So anyway, but marriage is is when two people have a strong relationship to each other, and then ideally they get married. Or in the Vedic culture, two people commit to having a strong relationship to each other, and then they commit to marriage. And if all the stars, everything lines up, it's good. Everyone can make it work. Doesn't have to be, like the Western system is you have to date for, 3 to 5 years and then you get married. This is not a good system, actually. So anyhow, my wife and I actually dated only for 9 months, which is very short for Western standards. But our Guru Maharaj pushed us to get married, actually. We were a little hesitant, but he said, no, you should really get married. And so we said, okay. And then we did, and actually thank God we did, because our Western conditioning, when some friction happens, because it's inevitable, actually kept us together, that no, we made a commitment to marriage. We can't just run away. I ran away from so many other things before that. She ran away from so many other things before that. And so now, we're still married. And now we have son and all these things. But anyway, that's not the purpose of the class. We are seeing here now Arjuna, he came back, he looked terrible. Yudhishthir can notice if his brother is looking terrible. But Arjuna came back, and Yudhishthir beforehand, he heard from Narada Rishi that, okay, when Krishna leaves this planet, it'll be time for you to give up your kingdom and also leave. So Yudhishthir already is hearing, okay, this is going to happen at some point. And then Yudhishthir is seeing all kinds of bad omens. Dogs are barking at him, this inauspicious animal, this inauspicious thing. He knows all the omenology of what's a good sign. We talked about this, right? sometimes you see certain animals, it's a good sign. You see some other animals, it's a bad sign. So there's, in the Vedas, you get the universe is always revealing to you so many things. The Lord is reaching out to you through so many different angles. So Yudhishthira is getting all these bad signs, all these bad omens. So now he's getting worried. And then all of a sudden Arjuna comes back. And then Arjuna looks terrible. He sees Arjuna, oh my gosh. So now he's going through all of the different things. What could have happened for you to look like this? Did you insult a woman? Did you insult children? Did you, what happened to you? So he's listing so many things. And so then finally his greatest fear, he didn't want to say it, but he said it at the very end, could Lord Krishna have left the planet? Is that what happened? Is that why you're so? Because your dearest friend Krishna have left? Which is Arjuna's relationship with Krishna was that of a dear friend. So yes, now he's onto something. So now we'll see what Arjuna says. Sutu vacha evam Krishna sakha Krishno pratraragya vikalpita nana shankaspadang rupang Krishna vishlesha karshita Sutu vacha. Are you working or no?
You've delayed it just a few, so I'm heading out now.
Okay. Sutta Goswami said, Evam, thus, Krishna Sakha, the celebrated friend of Krishna. Krishna, Arjuna. So, Krishna Sakha, the celebrated friend of Krishna, and Krishna is referring to Arjuna, because he's Krishna is so dear to him. Bratra, his elder brother. Ragya, King Yudhishthir. Vikalpita, speculated. Nana, various. Shanka aspadam, based on many doubts. Rupam, forms. Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna. Vishlesha, feelings of separation. Karshita, became greatly bereaved. Okay, Sutta Goswami said, Arjuna, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief-stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Lord Krishna, over and above all Maharaj Yudhishthira's speculative inquiries. Being too much aggrieved, Arjuna practically became choked up, Prabhupada is saying, and therefore it was not possible for him to reply properly to the various speculative inquiries of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Shokena Shushadvadana Hritsarojo Hata Prabha Vibhungtam Eva Nusmaran Na Shaknot Pratibashitum Shokena, due to bereavement. Shushyat Vadana, drying up of the mouth. Hritsaroja, lotus-like heart. Hata, lost. Prabha, bodily luster. Vibhum, the supreme. Tam, unto Lord Krishna. Eva, certainly. Anusmaran, thinking within. Na, could not. Ashakno, be able. Pratibashitum, properly replying. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up. Therefore his body lost all luster. Now remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. Krishtrena samstabhya shucha Panina mrijya netrayo Parokshena samunnadha Pranayot kantya kataraha. Krishtrena, with great difficulty. Samstabhya, by checking the forests. Shucha, of bereavement. Panina, with his hands. Amrijya, smearing. Netrayo, the eyes. Parokshena, due to being out of sight. Samunnadha, increasingly. Pranaya utkantya, eagerly thinking of the affection. Katara, distressed. With great difficulty, he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed because Lord Krishna was out of his sight, and he increasingly felt affection for him. So actually, he's we sing about this every morning in the Shikshastakam, but he's experiencing separation from the Lord. And actually, if we're become a little bit advanced in our devotional life, this is something that's said that we'll feel. Before we can experience, you may ask, how can we feel separation from the Lord if we have not met the Lord? Like this. So ultimately we have to, meet the Lord's devotee. And the Lord's devotee actually can bring the Lord to our vision. And then by actually being with the Lord's advanced, elevated devotees, that actually they have the Lord. The Lord is completely with them. The Lord enters their heart, actually. This is very rare. But if we can be with such a devotee, and under their guidance, this is why we sing to the gurus, because these are these type of devotees. Then we can naturally we'll feel separation from them, and we'll feel separation from the experience of Krishna that they bestow upon us. So if you, at some point, this is recommended, anyone know the first limb of bhakti, of the 64 limbs of bhakti?
To seek out a spiritual master.
Yes, actually to take shelter of a spiritual master. So it's not even a limb just to seek out, seeking out is one thing, but actually to find and take shelter. This is the first limb of bhakti. Without this limb, practically nothing can be achieved in bhakti. Practically nothing. So, don't overstep this. You need guidance. That's the only way bhakti comes. Bhakti comes from bhakti, actually. It's not that you can do things and you'll create bhakti. You think, I chant my rounds, I create bhakti. I'll offer flowers, I create bhakti. I'll do this and I'll create bhakti. I'll use my mind, intelligence, and create bhakti. Bhakti does not come that way. Bhakti comes from someone else who've been gifted bhakti, then they give you bhakti. And they'll inspire you, instill faith in you in the process of bhakti. But you may start doing some activities that they recommend you do based on their mercy to you. But unless you're sufficiently intelligent, if you're sufficiently intelligent, you'll turn to that person, and you say, "Please engage me in more bhakti. I need bhakti." And it's not your. We're so used to trying to self-elevate. We're so used to, I'll do this and I'll earn the rewards here. In bhakti, that's not how it works. Actually, in nothing, that's how it works. You think, if I work hard, then I'll make money, and if I make enough money, then I can earn for my family, and then like this, and if I can have a nice wife and a nice house and then I'll be happy. We think like this. This is not actually the case. If the Lord sanctions, all of this can be achieved. But if the Lord does not sanction, none of it can be achieved. It's not by your own supposed hard work. Craig, Hare Krishna. So this is not how it works. Bhakti comes from bhakti. So therefore, in order to actually get bhakti, you must approach someone with bhakti. That's why over and over again, finding a bona fide spiritual master and then surrendering unto them. This is necessary to actually begin bhakti. That's why we invite so many of our spiritual masters and gurus here, so that you guys can form a relationship and have the opportunity to actually begin bhakti. Right now, all we can do if we don't take to the surrendering to a spiritual master, you're building what's called sukriti. Sukriti is like pious merit. Pious merit that will maybe in one time it will build up you'll travel through the modes of nature, and you'll come to a point of maybe you'll be sattvic, you'll have such a clear intelligence, and that you'll realize, I absolutely need to surrender to someone who has bhakti. But that's all we can do for anyone who doesn't fully surrender at that point. So right now we're helping build sukriti in everyone. But sukriti is not enough. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. Am I going to forget the verse? Priyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Lalyam Cha Mulyang Ekalang Janma koti sukritirna labhyate. So essentially what this verse is saying is that Krishna Bhakti Ras, so if you actually want to get Krishna Bhakti, the nectar, the ras of Krishna Bhakti, how is it coming? So you have to find someone who's Bhavita Mati. They're completely saturated in Krishna Bhakti already. Like we sing about these personalities in our Gurvastikam, our Guru prayers. And then what you should do when you find somebody who has Krishna Bhakti, Kriyatam, you should act immediately. Actually, Prabhupada, this verse, he actually based ISKCON off this verse. He based ISKCON off of this verse that I'm quoting. So Kriyatam is you take action, immediately purchase. Whoever's got Krishna Bhakti, you go to that person. Kriyatam yadi kutopi. So anywhere it's available, you go to that person. Okay, Bhakti is available over here, I will go. And then it says, in that regard, greed is the only price that you can actually get to get Krishna Bhakti. You have to be greedy for the one who has Krishna Bhakti. And you go to them. And then finally, Janma Koti, after millions of births, Sukriti, of building Sukriti, which is what we can do here. We can help build Sukriti for you guys. Na labhyate, it's not available. You cannot get Krishna Bhakti by just building Sukriti. So by just doing your worship practices, you cannot get Krishna Bhakti. You're only building it's called Sukriti, or pious merit. You're still on the platform of karma and building good karma. And then maybe the good karma at some point will reach such a point that you'll have such clear intelligence that you'll realize, oh, bhakti is the topmost. I have to surrender to bhakti. I must find somebody who has sufficient bhakti and surrender unto them. Then you can begin bhakti. Otherwise, no, you'll just build good karma. So you have to actually, but everyone I think should have the sufficient intelligence by now. That yes, I need to find somebody who has bhakti, who has what I'm looking for, and I need to go to that person. I must learn from that person. So we have something small to offer here. We're offering something. Some bhakti has been given to us here, so we can share that with you, but not anymore actually. So, but there are teachers, Diksha and Shiksha, who can help you, and you can will take you deeper. But there has to be a level of surrender, and there should be one Diksha Guru, and then there can be many Shiksha Gurus. But you should find a Guru who is completely resonating with you, and you're realizing that wow, everything they speak, it's from Shastra. Everything you can read, you have to also study the Shastras to know. Everything they speak is from Shastras, and also everything they speak, it's agreeable to the sadhus. All the sadhus are agreeing like this. So anyway, these are just some things about how to be a proper disciple. A lot of times we may want to say, I want a guru, I want a guru, I want a guru. But are you actually eligible for a guru? This is another thing, because there's many ways in which we cannot become eligible if we are not properly situated. So anyway, all this can be learned, and if you do it under guidance of devotees, this can be learned, and we're trying to help guide people in this process. So every one of you, if you come regularly, actually we're very happy. We saw, I think I was counting today, we're having we're seeing 8 people in our congregation, either initiated or getting initiated. 8 people. That's amazing, actually. In just a few months' time, actually. So this is actually the process, and this is where bhakti can begin. That's why in Nectar of Devotion, this is the first limb of bhakti, is Guru Padashraya. You're taking shelter at a guru's feet. If this is not happening, only Sukriti is being built. But as we said, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati, and in that verse, Krishna Bhakti will not be eligible to you if you don't finally surrender. So this is a symptom of surrender. You have to find a spiritual master. So anyhow, I know nothing was said yet in the Bhagavatam, but this is actually very important. You have a question? So Kriti is like Su is auspicious, or Kriti is action. So you have like auspicious, You'll have like a good mind to do pious things, dharmic things. But dharma doesn't give you bhakti. Dharma only properly situates you so that maybe you can understand bhakti. You're in the mode of goodness. So bhakti is a transcendental platform. It's beyond the modes of nature. But to come to that, you have to kind of come from a launch point. What is the launch point? The mode of goodness. So you have to overcome the lower modes of nature, tamaguna and rajaguna. The passionate is raja, and tama is the destructive, ignorant force that pulls everyone down in this world. So if you rise up above this through sukriti, through doing pious activities and studying the shastras and so on, you'll rise to the point of goodness, and from that point of goodness, you can take to the bhakti process. So you've built enough sukriti. You can recognize, this is a transcendental personality. You can have the clear intelligence to recognize. A rajasic and tamasic person cannot. Yes.
Does that help us get more into the mode of goodness?
Yeah, that's
And
what's.
that opens us up for bhakti better.
Yes. So that's exactly what we're saying. So Sukriti is building you higher in the mode of goodness, and then when the sufficient mode of goodness is there, you can recognize someone who has Krishna Bhakti, and you can understand all the Shastras, everything is saying, take to Bhakti. The Supreme Personality of Godhead exists, He's saying, take to Bhakti. I must find one of His confidential servitors, and I have to surrender unto them. Then you could begin Bhakti. Otherwise, it's still on the Sukriti platform. So even though our activities, what we're doing, ideally they're bhakti, but actually they cannot be done on our own intelligence. This is only, you could say, creating bhakti sukriti, which is building, your pious refinement of your body and your mind, so that you'll surrender. But if we don't do it, you have to do it eventually, whether this lifetime, next lifetime. But once Prabhupada's verse of ISKCON that he based it on, once you know someone has Krishna Bhakti, you must run to them and you should immediately act. So that's why we're inviting many personalities here, so that you guys can get a taste for the many different personalities who have Bhakti, who are giving shelter of disciples and things, and then hopefully one resonates with where you are at, and then eventually you can decide, okay, I wanna learn from this person. And no problem. You say, well, I haven't met anyone I feel like I can surrender to yet. That's one thing. Also check, are you even able to surrender? Do you have many obstacles? Do you know the qualities of a bona fide disciple? You have to know these things, actually. There's a shastric of what does a bona fide disciple do? The bona fide disciple should be studying the shastra. The bona fide disciple should understand the devotional conclusions, how to properly surrender. And then, if you know all these things and you still have reason, why okay, then Krishna will send somebody. It's actually not like a rocket science, where okay, like how do I find the most expert spiritual master? And sometimes that spiritual teacher, he will come to you in a form that you wouldn't expect. So like this. But anyway. Not at all related to the subject matter. It's related, but it's not so much related. But Arjuna is feeling distress ultimately because Krishna was the one who also spiritually enlightened him in the Bhagavad Gita, but mostly because of his deep friendship with Krishna. Arjuna did all the processes of bhakti necessary. Now he gets direct association with Krishna. So let's continue. Sakyang maitring sahridang cha Saratyadishu sangsmaran Nirpam agrajamityah Bashpa gadgadaya gira. Sakyam, well-wishing. Maitrim, benediction. Sohridam, intimately related. Cha, also. Sarathya adishu, in becoming the chariot driver. Sangsmaran, remembering all these. Nirpam, unto the king. Agrajam, the eldest brother. Iti, thus. Aha, said. Bashpa, heavily breathing. Gadgadaya, overwhelmingly. Gira by speeches. Sorry, that reminded me. Gadgaya Gira. That's in a prayer we sing. So anyway, remembering Lord Krishna and his well wishes, benefactions, intimate familial relations, and his chariot driving, Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing very heavily, began to speak. Purport: the Supreme Living Being is perfect in all relations with his pure devotee. Sri Arjuna is one of the typical pure devotees of the Lord, reciprocating in the fraternal relationship. And the Lord's dealings with Arjuna are displays of friendship of the highest perfect order. He was not only a well-wisher of Arjuna, but actually a benefactor. And to make it still more perfect, the Lord tied him into a family relationship by arranging Subhadra's marriage with him. And above all, the Lord agreed to become a chariot driver of Arjuna in order to protect his friend from warfare risks. And the Lord became actually happy when he established the Pandavas to rule over the world. Arjuna remembered all these one after another, and thus he became overwhelmed with such thoughts. I'm just going to Google benefactor, right? Yeah, I think one who benefits others. A person who gives money or help. So actually the Lord let Arjuna be a benefactor in his life. Same with us. We do our deity server. Madhav is doing some offering right now. He's finishing the offering. So it appears Madhav is a benefactor of the Lord. He's engaged in serving the Lord every day. This is actually the case. But again, like we were saying, it's not due to, yes, the Lord needs our, aluminum plate and our, ingredients that we are procuring from everyone here. The Lord, can snap anything is there at his disposal. It's not. But what is what is he benefiting from? It's the love. This is what the bhakti is about, actually. Bhakti is love. So this is what we see. And in order to get love, we want to know what love is. And we want somebody to show us, actually. But we don't want, normally we sing that to the opposite sex. You will show me what love is. They'll not show you what love is. they don't know, and you don't know. The only way you can get love is you approach someone who has love, and by their mercy, they can give you love. And what is that ultimate love? It's bhakti. So we have to actually, this is very important that we do this step. I'm here on the loving order of my gurus in my life, trying to give whatever loving, mercy that they are recommending that I give to others. And we're also, you can receive some love. You should also share this benefit to others, even if it's just the ability to build Sukriti. Not everyone is. Even though it's said, even after millions of births of building Sukriti, you'll never get Krishna Bhakti, still, building Sukriti can actually at least give you the chance to recognize Krishna Bhakti, and then you can run to it. So the Sukriti is built in all of you to a certain degree, or you wouldn't have the tendency, I want to come to the temple, I want to do spiritual activities. Some of you actually took the step, Guru Padashraya, you surrendered to Guru this year. This is very nice. This is the Sukriti is built and ripened to such a point now where actually the first limb of bhakti was taken by many of you here. That's wonderful. Now, from that, so much can come. But others, everyone has the opportunity. Nobody is bereft. No one's too old. No one's too young. No one's too busy. Or to, I have wife, kids, I have so many things. No, everybody is eligible for bhakti. But it's not easy. That's why Krishna is it's not easy, but it's not a cheap thing. It's not like, it'll cost you your entire being, consciousness. Greed is the only price to get bhakti. You actually have to want it. And what's that mean? If you're greedy for something, you throw everything out of the way to go get it. People who are greeting for, sex life, any other activity that's going on in their life. No, I can't, I don't have time for this. I have to be at the club, this is where all the opportunities are. Somebody who's greedy for money, they throw everything out of the way and they make time for all the opportunities where money comes in. But to be greedy for bhakti, you take away all the other things that are going on in your life. Oh, this person has bhakti, I must go and try to receive their mercy in some way. So this is all explained. But we'll keep reading here. Arjuna vacha vanchito hang maharaja harina bandhu rupina yena me pahritang tejo deva vismapanang mahat. Arjuna vacha. Arjuna said, Vanchita, left by him. Aham, myself. Maharaja, O king. Harina, by the personality of Godhead. Bandhurupina, as if an intimate friend. Yena, by whom? Me, my. Apahritam, I have been bereft. Teja, power. Deva, the demigods. Vismapanam, astonishing. Mahat, astounding. Arjuna said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. Purport in the Bhagavad Gita 10:41, the Lord says, anyone specifically powerful and opulent in wealth, strength, beauty, knowledge, and all that is materially desirable is to be considered but a product of an insignificant portion of the complete whole of my energy. No one therefore can be independently powerful in any measure without being endowed by the Lord. When the Lord descends on the earth along with his eternal ever-liberated associates, he not only displays the divine energy possessed by himself, but also empowers his associate devotees with the required energy to execute his mission of incarnation. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4:5 that the Lord and his eternal associates descend on the earth many times, but the Lord remembers all the different roles of incarnations, whereas the associates, by his supreme will, forget them. Similarly, the Lord takes away with him all his associates when he disappears from the earth. The power and energy which were bestowed upon Arjuna were required for fulfillment of the mission of the Lord. But when his mission was fulfilled, the emergency powers were withdrawn from Arjuna because the astounding powers of Arjuna, which were astonishing even to the denizens of heaven, were no longer required, and they were not meant for going back home, back to Godhead. If endowment of powers and withdrawal of powers by the Lord are possible even for a great devotee like Arjuna, or even the demigods in heaven, then what to speak of the ordinary living beings who are but figs compared to such great souls? The lesson is, therefore, that no one should be puffed up for his powers borrowed from the Lord. The sane man should rather feel obliged to the Lord for such benefactions, and must utilize such power for the service of the Lord. Such power can be withdrawn at any time by the Lord, so the best use of such power and opulence is to engage them in the service of the Lord. This is a very, very prominent point here. We have so many skills and talents. Every one of you has some skills and talents. Where did you get the skills and talents from? Avani, what do you think?
I sent away for them. No.
What's that?
I sent away for them.
You sent away. Who did you send away for? So, but the Lord gives everything. Everything is just a manifestation of the Lord's power. Even any talents, knowledge you've acquired, you've learned, it's all coming from God, actually. If you trace back, well, no, my teacher taught me. Well, who taught him? Well, his teacher taught him. Well, who taught him? If you trace it back infinitely, it will eventually reach God. That's the only logical solution. Where does knowledge, where does meaning, where does anything come from? It all is the source is God. So actually everyone is but borrowing the Lord's power. So if you're an intelligent person, they'll realize this. Oh, everything is but God's. So naturally, if I try to appease God or please God, then everything, that's why Christians say, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be added unto you. They know this. You seek first God, the source of everything, then He bestows everything. But in our society we say, well, seek ye first the college tuition, or seek ye first the workforce, or seek ye first this, that, and the other thing. And ultimately, you run your life into chaos. Someone might spend all their time focusing on work, but then their family relationship will fall apart. And then they spend all their time trying to fix the family relationship, then their work situation will fall apart. You cannot juggle everything. By the Lord's mercy, everything can come properly. Without the Lord's mercy, nothing will come properly. So the intelligent, they spend their time towards the Lord, because they know that's where all blessings, everything comes from. Not that the Lord doesn't tell you to act. The Lord will give you sufficient intelligence where you need to act. But it's all coming from the Lord. So the intelligent person realizes this and they'll act on this. So they may come to their local place, or they may even come stay at their local place where the Lord is daily being discussed and worshipped, and they can refine their connection to the Lord. This is very good. And that's why you all are here, I'm assuming. With the exception of Rajneesh, maybe your first time is coming to the...
No, I've been here 3-4
Yes,
times.
you've come to the... Yes. But you've been...
Actually came to one morning program.
Oh, he came also one morning program.
No, when Maharaj was.
Oh, very good. So very good. So now everyone is taking some steps here, who are, regularly to connect deeper to the Lord. Why? Because if you have any sufficient ability to do anything in your life, it's ultimately coming from Him. So, well, I've seen many of you also in your life. I'm knowing you. I've seen how the Lord He's pushed all of us here. He's pushed all of us. He's made us realize, the error of our ways previously, or we wouldn't be here. So now, we must act. We must do something. Let's read one more verse. Yasyakshana viyogena loko hyapriya darshana uktena rahito yesha mritaka procyate yatha yasya, whose, kshana, a moment, viyogena, by separation, loka, all the universes, he, certainly, apriya darshana, everything appears unfavorable, ukthena, by life, rahita, being devoid of, he, certainly, esha, all these bodies, mritaka, dead bodies, prochite, are designated, yatha, as it were. I have just lost him whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. Purport. Factually, for a living being, there is no one dearer than the Lord. The Lord expands himself by innumerable parts and parcels, as svamsha and vibhinamsha. Paramatma is the svamsha part of the Lord, whereas the vibhinamsha parts are the living beings. As the living being is the important factor in the material body. So amsha is like a limb. So svamsha is actually like the Lord's himself, his own limb. You could say. So like swa is one's own, and amsha is limb. So his own limb is the paramatma. In all of existence, if you find out what is the source of every single thing, it's actually the Lord, the paramatma guiding everything underneath. Everything is but the Lord. But then the vibhinamsha, he gives the individual spirit souls. Vibhina means like his separated amshas, limbs. So we are his separated limbs. Why would he separate us from himself? What is valuable in separation?
Great, like deeper love.
Well, actually, it's not even deeper. Just love in itself has to do with, there has to be two. It's not, no one is like there are narcissists out there, but no one can be in love with yourself. You cannot exchange it. Love is the exchange between others. So vibhinamsha, why? We are all the living entities were created for that purpose, to exchange love with the Lord. That's why we're actually, that's why we're here. In different ways, like, Arjuna is like a friend, best friends with the Lord. That's very nice. Imagine that you have the best friend in all of creation, in all of existence. Everyone loves their best friend. But imagine, our best friends are limited, They can only give so much happiness. But the Lord is infinitely. Imagine the type of friendship you can have with the Lord. Our romantic relationships are also limited. Imagine the type of romance that also exists, the Lord in romance. Our parents are limited, but imagine the parental relations that could have also with the Lord. This is also there. So on. Whereas the Vibhinamsha parts are the living beings. As the living being is the important factor in the material body, for without the living being, the material body has no value. Similarly, without Paramatma, the living being has no status quo. Similarly, Brahman or Paramatma has no locus standi. I'm going to have to look up all these. I say status quo. That's like the...
Status quo just means the norm.
Yeah, the norm, the existing state of affairs. And then, what is it? Locus standi?
Same.
Yeah. A place to stand. The foundation of existence. So the living being has no status quo, no norm. Similarly, the Brahman or Paramatma has no locus standi, a place to stand without the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is thoroughly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. They are all interlinked with one another, or interdependent factors. Thus, in the ultimate issue, the Lord is the summum bonum, or means the topmost, and therefore the vital principle of everything. So we must understand this realization, that the Lord is the foundation of everything. That we, even though we are separated from the Lord, just like the body has no value without the living being inside. We see this, right? Who here has had a relative die? What do they do with the body when the living being has left?
Cremated, my parents.
Yeah, we burn to ashes. Some people, they bury it. But you don't keep it. Well, I'm going to keep grandma around. They're gonna put grandma on they keep the body. Some people in society, they do taxidermy. They'll preserve the animal's body, right? And then they stuff it with things, and then there you had your dog, your creepy dog. That's like over yes.
Years ago too, like in the 1800s and 1700s, they used to take when someone died. They would actually prop them up and take a family portrait, even though they were dead, just to be part of the family portrait.
Yeah, but
Very
then
strange.
it is strange, but they'll get rid of it because they realize this body is not valuable anymore. It's better we put it in a box, put it underground, or we burn it. We all cultures in India, they burn. Primarily, the burning is the done. Also in the West, many people cremate. So similarly, the analogy is given here. Arjuna has the realization, my life bereft of the Lord is like a body bereft of the soul. It's useless. Actually, this is the case for 99.9% of people. Their life is one of just useless labor, and then for all intents and purposes, unless some sukriti is built towards understanding the Lord, the whole life is wasted. It's a whole useless life, actually. So this is actually the realization. Why? Because the thing guiding that life, they're spending so much time decorating a dead body. Do you realize your body is a dead body? I gotta make sure I get my hair done. I gotta make sure I thread my eyebrows. I gotta make sure, I decorate the dead body. But it's just a dead body. The only thing that makes the body valuable is the soul is in the body. Only thing. So similarly, the only thing that makes anything valuable is the Lord, is the underlying foundation of it. So unless us as the living entity see that and understand that relationship, it's has no value whatsoever. And just, it will be finished. Like for instance, some people say, but no, my relationships, my experiences, they're so valuable. Tell me about all your past lives, experiences, and relationships. How valuable are they to you now? Tell me. Mohit, tell me about your wife in your previous life. How special was she to you? Or your husband, maybe you were the wife in the past life, we don't know. How special were they to you? How about your mother in your past life? How special were they to you? How valuable.
Not special enough because we didn't remember.
Yes, that's right. It's not actually, all these things we put so much emphasis on are actually not valuable unless what? Unless what? How can the body be valuable? What has to be inside? So how can everything that we have here in this world be valuable? What was the analogy? The soul of life is what? The Lord. If it's connected, if we connect that thing to the Lord, it's valuable. The only way that there can be any value in anything we do in life, your job, your relationships, your activities, only way any value can be held is it's included in your connection to the Lord. I just went on a family reunion. Why should I do that if there's no value in the relationships? Because there is a value in the relationships. I could potentially connect them to the Lord. Maybe.
Just by going, you did, I'm sure, because
There-
they're aware of what you were doing.
There was some, yeah, there, and many conversations are there. Sometimes, and also my parents, not my parents, they've accepted me and what I'm doing now. But all my relatives, it's still a little like, hey, what are you doing? But we went to, try and share with whatever little bhakti or sukriti we could with them. And we, made some progress. Certain family members were more receptive than others, but yeah, everyone, we tried to share. And now those who I can have a connection to the Lord with in that way, those relationships I'll make sure to give special attention to. And those who've refused to go there, I can try again later. We'll see, maybe. But this is the only way anything has value in life, if there's a connection to God. So we must connect all aspects of our life to God, because that's where it's coming from anyway. All of your talents, all your skills, everything is coming from the Lord. Become properly situated. Understand this. Understand everything you're doing has no value unless it's connected to the Lord, just like a body has no value unless the soul is inside. Maybe many of us had grandmothers and grandfathers and great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers. We don't keep their bodies around anymore because the value is lost because they've left that body. So similarly, in our life, there's many activities and things that are lingering, past things we might have used to do. None of it has any value unless you can somehow put bhakti inside that thing. You can devote that thing to the Lord. So find a way. Main thing, make sure you're actually situated in bhakti. We talked about this. What is that first limb? Find your guidance. Everyone is at least taking, there's some ability here for the Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Like for instance, Madhav in his life. Craig acted as his Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Craig realized there's a higher ideal, and maybe I'm not fully qualified to give him that ideal, but I can show him the way towards that thing. And then actually due to that, and then when Madhav saw, like, wow, this thing's happening in town and things like that, then he went to it. And so this is what a Vartma Pradarshika Guru said. Even though I'm not fully qualified to, deliver you, I know where it's at. Go this way. I know the way. Just keep going down this path, and the one can keep going. So you find at least a Vartma Pradarshika Guru who can show you how to go deeper. And then maybe you'll find a Shiksha Guru, someone who's giving you good instruction, and wow, they're going to help me make significant advancement. I should really hear from this person. I should serve this person. I should ask questions to this person. Be very respectful to this person. And then, eventually, that Shiksha Guru, maybe they themselves, or they will lead you to one who's qualified enough to then also initiate you, give you diksha, you can surrender to. So this is our process here. You have to connect to the line of how the Lord is giving His mercy. He is giving His mercy through His devotees. You just see how He empowered Arjuna. Arjuna could do so many things, but as soon as the Lord left, Arjuna lost all his prowess. You'll see what happens to Arjuna in this chapter. What normally was a simple task for Arjuna, he couldn't even do simple things anymore because the Lord took away his power. So similarly, if the Lord will take away all our power at some point. That's what the old age process is in this world. He takes away everything, and then eventually death comes. So, but before the Lord naturally does it, connect to Him, and He will empower you fully. Everything that you need for empowerment, but now you're empowered in the right way, because you were always borrowing the Lord's empowerment anyway, no matter what you were doing. But now you're willingly doing it, and you're here to share the Lord with others. This is the work of the devotee. So, thank you guys for joining. We're going to switch up the schedule. Now, I want the boys to be giving more classes. I'm going to give the morning Bhagavatam classes. And then I'll, every once in a while, give a Sunday or Wednesday class. But I want the boys who have been really seriously. Piyush, you have to also, we'll squeeze you in there as well. I know you somehow got out of class when I went away, but you'll have to also give class. But yeah, this will be the new going forward. But these will be my specific classes, is the Bhagavatam classes in the morning. And then like that, now our Sunday and Wednesday programs. Better chance you'll see the boys giving class, or Mukunda, or anyone from the community, than you'll have me giving class. But I will do these classes. And then every once in a while, Piyush will also share with me. He'll come and also give class at least once every 2 weeks or something. So anyway, thank you guys for joining. It's a Kadashi today. Is there any other notable day, personality has come today? Madhav, you've checked? It's beginning of Julan Yatra? Oh, it's a very nice festival. Today is the beginning? Yeah, so there's a very, very nice festival that is beginning today. And it has to do with the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. The Julan is, I think it's a swing, right? Yeah, so it's the pushing of Radha and Krishna on the swing. So this is done at many temples, usually some arati and some, but it signifies many dear pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So this is happening, beginning today. But yes. So Julan Yatra is today. Akadashi is today. Akadashi means more spiritual activities, less material activities. Also, it's recommended, try not to eat any meat, fish, eggs, onion, and garlic. Every day you should try to not eat like that. But especially on Akadashi day, do not, just for your benefit. And grains and beans even. Try not to take any heavy foods. Take simple foods. We've prepared Akadashi-friendly food stuff here, so you guys can eat nicely. And otherwise, some people even fast and things you can do. But take more spiritual activity today and less material activity. But thank you guys so much. Hare Krishna. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.